forearm to paint the last section. And I'll try and apply a smooth at this point once I've got this last row painted, and just see how close I am with regards to the distribution of the effect in the forearm area alone. I can work the bicep area afterwards. I'll switch to the pink deformer. And that doesn't look too bad. It looks like there's 3 rows of edges between these two deformers here. So I guess what I'm going to do is actually give another row of edges to this forearm deformer that represents the kind of the closest point to the elbow. So I'll just continue that through to here. And I guess I'll do the same thing for the inner elbow as well. Okay, let's see how that works by applying a little bit of smoothing. I'll take my smooth brush now, enlarge it a bit. Again, I want to enlarge it enough so that it covers at least 2 points for blending. I may have some values that are a little bit off in this region. I can actually see that the hand looks a little bit off. In fact, what I can do here is assign most of the weight to the wrist bone, just so we're not stuck with non-zero weights in this area. So there's always a bit of a problem when you remove deformers. Usually you get a small percentage of their weights through blending or something like that being left behind, and of course you have to kind of make up for it by adding weight to other deformers. So I'll just sort of take that into account as I'm painting here. Okay, that looks a little better. I don't see any sort of dark areas here that are ambiguous. Maybe right there. Okay, if I expand that brush now and just use the Control or Alt key, I'll just do a little bit of blending, especially right around the thumb area. And just try to blend anywhere that we see color transitions. Keep in mind that some of the deformers do have the same color. So I want to be careful there. Again, I'm just smoothing as I'm going up the arm. And as soon as I apply this twist, I should get a pretty decent distribution up the arm. And I'll apply this for the bicep if I'm successful here. Otherwise I'm going to need to obviously do a little bit more roughing before I apply this stage. I feel pretty confident with what I'm doing here though. This should work. Okay, it's a little bit bright here. I'll just do a little bit of blending there. And some blending towards the elbow. Now there's nothing to really blend against as I move up the bicep, so I have to be careful not to paint in here. Yeah, actually I'll just undo that. Okay, so let's see what we have. If I select the arm here and I apply a bit of a twist, we get perhaps a little bit too much movement. Well, again, it's hard to say because we're not really seeing what's happening up the biceps. We get a very hard transition here. But from what I see, actually, the arm, the volume is actually being held quite nicely. We don't get any pinching of the arm, the form is doing exactly what we need to do. So I'm going to consider that successful and continue moving the roughing all the way up to the bicep and blend from there before mirroring across to the other side.